At first glance, this scene is like something out of a tourism catalog, but the reality is far different and tragic. This boat, which traveled to the mainland on Sunday evening at around 6:45, was carrying the body of Donicio Trujillo, brutally murdered in San Pedro at least 12 hours earlier. He was transferred to the pan of a waiting police mobile and taken to the KHMH morgue. Just after 7:30 that morning, San Pedro police had been called out to a dirt road just off Marine Drive, south of the town, after some persons passed the area and made the shocking discovery.
The lifeless body of a male person was seen in a drain in a pool of water just off the dirt road. The body was viewed where it was observed that it had what appears to be stab wounds. One to the center of the abdomen, to the chest area, also to the left forearm, and to his throat. Also seen was a grey-in-color taxi van parked on the same dirt road about 20 to 30 feet away from where the body was discovered. The body was fully clothed. It did have the male person did have on his shirt and his pants. We found what we believe was his slippers, one inside the van and one outside. I don't believe that this person was killed inside the van. There is no trace of blood, no trace of any other evidence to suggest that in terms of his blood or anything else at this time.
The exact time of death will be established in a post-mortem examination later today, but it has been reported that his van was observed parked at his home until after 4:30 that morning. His niece says she last saw him on Saturday evening working, and then on Sunday morning she got the terrible news.
I was at my house Sunday morning when I got a call from my other uncle who is working at El Pescador, and he told me that they just murdered another taxi driver, and I told him it was my uncle. So I called and I dialed his number immediately and didn't get to him. He didn't answer.
There is rampant speculation on the island and much fear that taxi drivers are being targeted for some reason. 5 days ago, taximan Jose Rigoberto Beltran was found dead in his van off a dirt road. His hands and feet were bound, and he had been shot once to the head. Police say that murder was a simple consequence of robbery and are trying to allay the fears of taxi operators even as they put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Definitely we put that in high consideration, but I don't want to put anything out there to say that the criminal elements or anyone, the taxi operators are being targeted. Nevertheless, we're looking at different angles in terms of how we'll go about dealing with especially after this second murder.
One angle that police are actively following is that this murder, as vicious and senseless as it seems, could also be a result of a robbery.
There is nothing to suggest any of the murders have anything to do with drug related. I don't want to speculate. This one, we are looking at this last murder as robbery as a motive. This person, after checking his identity, we confirmed there was no cash. After some information we received that he had some sort of money on him. Despite we checked different areas, but there was nothing to suggest he had any money on him after he was murdered. So we are looking at this one as maybe a robbery at this point.
Donicio Trujillo's daughter Yadira is taking her PSC exams today in Benque, and family members have not yet told her that her father is dead. That is something they will do today, even as they try to come to grips with the tragic loss of a loved one without any warning.
He didn't have any enemies. He didn't have any enemies, none at all. I'm living here like 6 years now in this island and have never seen anyone approach him for any problem or anything. He didn't have any enemies. He was a hardworking man. He had been fully parent for his 4 kids, for 4 child, for Oscar, Yadira, Emmanuel, and Dennis. And he was a really nice person. He was more than an uncle. He was like a dad, a brother, and a good friend to all his nieces.
Today, Trujillo's van was parked outside the San Pedro police station, right next to the van of Jose Rigoberto Beltran. 5 persons have been detained and are currently being interviewed. Mike